Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a conversation over here about endgames, about balance, about power creep, and of course, comparisons between all of the gacha games that have all of those different elements. Because I think that there's been a lack of discussion on my channel regarding comparisons. And I think the end result of that is that people have gotten a warped perception of just what other end games and gacha games are looking like right now. And as a result, they're not able to really give a fully accurate take on what's going on in Wuthering Waves. There's a lot of critique for what's happening in WuWa's endgame right now, and there are very good reasons for it. There's been a lot of power creep in game modes like Whimpering Waste, HP inflation in game modes like Whimpering Waste, alongside TOA, and of course, some different scoring little mishaps that have occurred in End State Matrix that are having some people complaining, right? That the game's gotten less free-to-play friendly, that the game's gotten less player-friendly as a whole, and that it's a lot more like a Hoyoverse game than maybe what it was at the start. And this is the reality over here. We might be exaggerating a little bit. And we might be exaggerating a lot when we use the terminology, oh, this is getting just like a Hoyoverse game. Because I actually went ahead and today, I had the crazy displeasure of actually playing Genshin's Endgame again. And as you can see over here, I'm in the Spiral Abyss, like floor 3, first half. I went through like everything over here. I used C6 units and like Skirk, and like there was no 3 stars anywhere. Yeah, we actually got 2 stars on everything. So that just kind of like shows how the power creep has kind of flowed on. My S0 R1 Skirk team does more damage than my C6 Alhaitham team. The Nahida's also C1, but it's like better not to mention that. It just makes it look worse. And so now, you might be wondering, okay, Saint, that sounds bad and all. That just shows that Genshin has power creep. We already knew that. But what if I were to tell you that Genshin has something a lot worse than power creep hiding under its hood? Something that exceeds power creep. Something that will make your older members of your roster, your past polls, useless, even though they still do good damage. And that's going to be called shilling. Because I think that shilling is something that Wuthering Waves doesn't really do much of at all. They shill by making things stronger than others. Yes, they absolutely do, but they don't make that stronger thing feel required to clear. And the situation over here is that Genshin Impact does the opposite, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just expose you to what happened on this clear over here. You'll have a good time. Don't worry. It's jolly good old cooperative fun. What's on here, bro? I don't even know. Oh God. Wait, is this Hydro or not? It is Hydro. That was my first big mistake. So like, as you can see, there are some cum shots right behind me over here. Just wait until you see what comes out of these. Like, am I fucked over here or not? I don't actually know. So what I didn't know was that I was supposed to kill these little drones over here, right? It'll be fine. There are 4 of them. What is this? So like, as you can see, they're in the air, so it's really hard for certain members of the roster to hit them. Sorry, what is going on here? What the fuck is this? What are these? What? No. And if you don't blow up all of them in time, am I just waiting for her to return to the boss and generate a shield, a Hydro shield, and then also give the guy like 50% resistance over them, or what? What is this guy now doing? So first you got to break through this thing, right? And that takes a while on its own. Probably better if you have like stuff that breaks Hydro. Hey, now Freezing gets rid of this. Look, he's frozen. This is easy. But this is the reality over here. It doesn't matter if you break this. Because look what happens once I do break it. Oh, this shit's taking fucking forever. He's like fucking invulnerable.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Get ready for this. Easy, easy. Okay, all right. He's taking no damage. He basically becomes invulnerable. That's the only expression I can muster as this is happening on the screen. That's probably every player that got introduced to this mechanic. What are you supposed to do? And this is me after I found it out, right? I was like, oh, okay. HP because I'm dying, apparently. All right, okay, so like I gotta do some fucked up shit here, right? Okay, all right. He just spat out some literal poo. Boom. Okay, all right. So this is truly the only method I have right now to kill these. I have to like slowly wait for like this little piss shotter to like get them. Because that's what Cryo App looks like in this game, right? On one of the best cryo supports, a Scoffier. Okay, we got 2 of them. Easy. Uh-oh. And do you want to know where Skirk and her team are on the Pride Win tier list? And do you want to know the other DPSs in the game that also suffer just like that on that boss? I think it's this bitch, obviously, because she's Hydro, so you're fucked. You can't even use her anyways. This guy's not going to have a good time. He's fucked. She's fucked. She might be okay, I think. And I'm pretty sure she's fucked as well. Maybe she's fine. Linnea's broken. It's literally designed for one character. And are you ready to see what it looks like when that one character fights that one boss?
Up to the freezer! Right now. Installation chamber.
I'm gonna mute it because that's some weird music. Watch this. Bro, it's like I'm in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 mission, no Russian. And those were the civilians. What the fuck was that? Bro, they got mowed down like fucking geese. How does that even happen? Where you have that much of a difference between just the gameplay. Remember, this guy is invulnerable if you don't kill all of those. Neuvillette can't damage the orbs. Neuvillette is a Hydro character, you fucking moron. And then just look at that, bro. Look how... Bro, she is blowing this bitch up. And look at this bitch over here. She was on my team, but I had the wrong DPS. I had the wrong DPS on there. So no, she's useless. On my team, at least. And so you see that going on, right? But what if I told you, like you could take this tech and make it even more disgusting, right? Check this shit out. Y'all ready? Watch this. Oh, yeah, just shoot through them. And then look at the damage. Fun game, right? The gameplay of almost all of the other tier 0, tier 0.5 teams is just not being able to kill these things. She kills them in half a second, and they can also damage the boss at the same time while fighting them. This is what these games do. And it's not just Genshin Impact that does this with every new character. It's ZZZ as well. You remember the Angels of Delusion and this retarded boss they put in the game? Where it's basically like, yeah, unless you use the Angels of Delusion, you just can't kill this guy. Unless you use Sandroni, yeah, you're just gonna have a shit time against this guy. Unless you use the Angels of Delusion, you're gonna have a shit fucking time against this guy. Oh, remember the other time they did it before in HSR? Oh, Pollux. Netherwing Husk, Fairy of Souls. If you don't bring Casterus, go fuck yourself. It's the same exact dynamic. It's the same exact photo. This company simply goes ahead and decides power creep isn't enough. It doesn't matter that our new characters deal quadruple the damage of others, of older ones. It doesn't matter, bro. We still need to find a way to nickel and dime and make the gacha predatory. You not only have to pull broken DPS units, you gotta pull every single one, because they'll find a way to make your previous DPS units actively just not work properly. That is what these devs are literally just thinking about every single time they design a new enemy or they design a new boss. How can we add a shield mechanic that makes 90% of the roster, if not higher, feel like dog shit against this enemy? And they do it in all of their fucking games. And this is why I'm saying we needed more time for comparisons. We needed more time to actually go ahead and play these other gachas, experience their endgames, and see how literally bad they actually are. Because you want to know what this is like? This is like Wuthering Waves, literally designing bosses where it's just like, yeah, unless you freeze the boss, which only Hiyuki can do in her teams, the boss is invulnerable. And unless you freeze the boss, it takes 50% less damage. Unless you apply arrow erosion to this enemy, it has 700% increased defenses. Unless you hit this boss with air attacks, it stays permanently in the air and will never come down, and you can never hit it with melee characters. Oh wait, Genshin already does that. Oh wait, that's what Genshin's been doing since day one. Because, yeah, you know about, like, the permanent air enemies, right? Unless you have another ranged unit, you can't bring them down. Everyone knows how that works, right? And that's what's not in this game. That's what isn't in this game. Yes, there's been HP inflation. Yes, there is situations where certain matchups against certain enemies feel better for certain characters than others. But this isn't a situation where it's like, hey, unless you bring this one specific unit, every other team in the game is going to feel like shit against the boss. And that's how Hoyo designs their games. Because it isn't enough to power creep older releases and just do double or triple their damage. You also need to have a special boss release with you that other DPSs that are also in the top rankings can't clear. And that's how these games have been since WuWa released. Genshin has started doing this, and then all of Hoyo's other games started doing this right after WuWa's release. This is Hoyo's response to competition. And Kuro has at least stuck their foot in when it comes to gay-ass, ridiculous mechanics like that we saw today. But there is a little bit of HP inflation. There is some power creep. That's true. But the game state of WuWa is nowhere close to the hellscape that currently exists in the other biggest gacha games. And the sooner that we're able to actually firmly grasp how bad these games have become, aside from WuWa, well, I think it's going to allow the player base to see at least the current state in a much brighter light. Because, guys, there's a common saying out there, right? And I think we've all heard it before. You probably heard it on the radio. You know, it kind of goes like, don't they always seem to go, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I think that's the situation over here. We don't actually know what we have right now. We don't know what we could potentially lose. Because, guys, Genshin lost that. They lost the shilling part. All of these games used to be sort of like a free-form endgame where you were free to bring in a bunch of different teams to try out the bosses, and you weren't told specifically, pull these characters and play this team or you're gonna have a terrible fucking time. That's the state of WuWa. You can play the teams you want. Some matchups are better than others naturally because of movesets, but you're not just explicitly told to go fuck yourself. Because the attribute doesn't matter here. The elemental resistance doesn't matter here. It's your ability to fucking apply, like, stellar superconduct and, like, fucking your cryo app at fucking range from a Gatling gun to go blow these up immediately. That's what you need in your kit. And unfortunately, yeah, that transcends elemental barriers. The only restrictions we have in this game over here, guys, is the fact that, yes, some enemies have an attribute resistance. You can't bring electro characters into the fucking Mephis. Sucks. You can't bring arrow characters into the Nameless Explorer. Sucks. Better than 99% of characters on the roster feeling like shit, and then the boss feels okay for one of them. I'm good, bro. I'm good. So yeah, this is a bit of a PSA over here. This is a bit of a discussion, and of course, I think a bit of a reality check for not just the Wuthering Waves player base, but the Hoyoverse player base as well. Because you guys got to understand, when the topic is still on Endgame, when the topic is on shilling, and of course, the value of your pulls and player friendliness, Wuthering Waves will permanently be on top as long as your retarded developers keep doing retarded shit like this in your retarded endgames. And that's the truth of the matter. Wuthering Waves will permanently be always better because your games are doing this. And that's the reality. That's the pill the entire gacha space needs to swallow. And that's the truth of the matter. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.